Welcome back to the Jim Green Footwear channel. You chaps haven't seen my face in a number of weeks, and that's because we've been super busy. I was in America for most of January, and on my return we hit the ground running and have been doing a facelift to the factory and adding on to our offices. So once that's all done, we'll definitely put a video together to show you the work that we've been up to. One of the most common emails we're getting recently is what is the difference between your Stockman and Outback Slip On Boots. So in this video, we're going to run through each boot and go through each spec, and by the end of it, you'll know exactly which slip-on boot will be best suited for your needs. To start, one thing that these two boots have in common is that we use the exact same upper design. So here we have our Stockman boot cut in half, and what you can see here and what sets Jim Green apart from many other brands is that these boots are all fully leather lined with a calfskin lining. So here you can see the yellow lining that runs all the way through the boot. This boot that we have in front of us is actually a steel toe cap. So taking a closer look at the upper, you'll see that there's over 4 millimeters of leather surrounding your foot. Now, we don't sell these boots as waterproof, but rather water resistant. So with the right boot care, a bit of leather balm or beeswax, these boots will keep your feet nice and dry for a good couple of hours. Now that we've got the similarity between these two boots out the way, let's look at the two major differences that separate these boots. And that is down to the fit and the sole that we use on the boots. So let's have a look at the two lasts that we use on these boots. Our Outback boot, we use a last that we refer to as the STC last. And on our Stockman boot, we use a last which we refer to as the JG last. So if you take a closer look here, you'll notice that the STC last on the Outback is slightly more narrow and a rounded last, whereas the JG last on the Stockman is a slightly more snug and wider fitting last. The next big difference between these two boots is in the choice of outer sole that we use. So if we have a look at the Outback, we use our Bradbury sole, which can be found on our Fellies, and on the Stockman, we use our JG lug sole, which can be found on our Razorback. Now, the reason for us using the different soles on the boots then relates back to the last choices. So if we have a look at the Stockman, where we use our JG last, this boot is built for more rugged terrain, and the wider fit gives you a bit more stability when on loose gravel, which is why we go for the JG sole on this boot, because it ties in nicely with the last. When we look at the Outback boot and the Bradbury sole, you can see here that it does offer some grip, but not as much as our JG lug. And the reason we did this is that with the slightly more rounded and narrow last, this boot has a bit more of a fashion touch added to it, so that guys that are walking in the streets or need a slip-on boot for the office, it fits in a little bit better with their daily uniform. One thing to note on our Stockman boot is that here in South Africa as stock items, we actually run our Stockman boot with two other sole options, being our Oringo wedge sole and our Kalahari flat sole. Both of these soles have various different uses, with our Kalahari sole designed to not gather any mud, and our Oringo sole, which can famously be found on our African Ranger and on our Razorback, which is designed to keep you quiet and comfortable while working in any environment. To sum it up, our Stockman boot is ideal for rugged terrain and hard work, while the Outback boot is great for everyday wear and for people who value style as much as they do comfort. The Stockman slip-on boot uses the JG last, which is a wide fit that offers a snugger feel all around. The Outback, on the other hand, uses the STC last, which is a wide fit that offers a roomy and rounded toe box. Ultimately, the choice between the two boots will depend on your needs and preferences. Thanks very much for watching, and we hope that this episode clears the air a bit more for any of you trying to decide between our Outback boot and our Stockman slip-on boot. And if you have any other video requests, please leave it down in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and thank you very much for all your support.